Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Sweeping changes to child safety oversight bodies and community services are on the way, following the Commission of Inquiry into the Tasmanian Government's responses to child sexual abuse in institutional settings. The state governments accepted all the recommendations made, including those to protect Aboriginal children.
It wasn't news to Tasmania's Aboriginal community that their children are overrepresented in Ashley Youth Detention Centre and out-of-home care, and therefore at greater risk of child sexual abuse.
We actually see a whole new generation of stolen children happening in this state.
The Commission of Inquiry recommended Aboriginal community-led strategies to care for Aboriginal kids, including a separate youth justice strategy.
We did it for thousands of years prior to invasion. We can pick up those responsibilities again.
We really need to see investments heavily in programs which ensure that Aboriginal children do not come into contact with our out-of-home care and our youth justice systems.
Also among the recommendations is an expanded Commission for Children and Young People with more power and oversight. Asked if current government funding has been sufficient, the Commissioner says,
no. The answer is simple, no. And I would add to that my previous 2 budget submissions have been declined.
The majority of children at Ashley Youth Detention Centre are there on remand. That's because Tasmania doesn't have sufficient bail accommodation for children. Supported accommodation will be part of the new youth justice model. But the Council of Social Services wants a review of kids there now.
One of the things that we can do is to actually do some individual care plans with all of the young people that are currently in Ashley and develop some community-based care plans that will support them and keep them safe.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Labor has agreed to hold off on a planned no-confidence motion when Parliament returns, so a funding bill for actions responding to the Commission of Inquiry can be passed. Labor said it would test the House of Assembly's confidence in the Premier following Elise Archer's sacking, but calls from the Greens and victim survivors to delay it to allow the funding bill to be passed have been successful.
It is the job of the opposition. We understand that, to test the confidence. There is chaos amongst the Liberals. However, we have all agreed, all members of Parliament, that putting the Commission of Inquiry response is much more important than politics.
If the government agrees to suspend standing orders so we can debate the budget bill, which would fund the Commission of Inquiry recommendations on Tuesday, then we do support that.
Liberal Leader of the House, Felix Ellis, has called the motion a stunt. Independents John Tucker and Lara Alexander would likely have the deciding votes in a motion. Written submissions to an independent review into former police officer Paul Reynolds will be accepted from tomorrow. Dying in 2018, the late senior sergeant is accused of child sexual abuse. Anyone with knowledge, experience or information about Reynolds, as well as other officers, is encouraged to come forward. Members of the public will be able to remain anonymous, with all evidence treated as confidential. Submissions will be accepted until the end of November. A Tasmanian man sentenced to 22 years jail for setting his girlfriend on fire has continued to fight for his release. Matthew Davey fronted the Supreme Court today, requesting the judge quash his conviction and order a retrial, his family there to support him. Davey claims his lawyer made multiple errors which resulted in a miscarriage of justice, including repetitive cross-examination of the victim to refresh their memory. The hearing continues tomorrow. A group of leading legal minds has hit out at what it calls misinformation about The Voice. 2 former state solicitors general and a former governor among those saying The Voice is not legally risky, as claimed by the No campaign in recent advertising.
It's not possible for people to make rational decisions about this matter unless they've got accurate information. Inaccurate information obviously leads to people making bad decisions.
The Parliament itself, including both houses of Parliament that these people who co-signed the letter represent, will be responsible for the legislation about the content of The Voice, the structure and process.
Liberal Senator and No campaigner Jonathan Duniam says while he respects those opinions, there are doubts because of what he calls a lack of detail on the proposal. Calls for cost of living help is putting the state's charities under sustained pressure, with demand for some services rising by 4% in the past year.
While they might have just been managing to get by over these past 18 months now with the cost of living pressures, they're really at breaking point. People are presenting to us with greater amounts of rental arrears and greater debt than they have before.
On average, we provide between $100 to $110 per visit. The need and the average need of people has actually grown in these times, so we've responded to that.
The organisations expect demand for relief to remain over summer. A talented group of UTAS theatre students is preparing to take to the stage for a performance described as surreal, weird and enticing. The troupe hoping the experience will set them up for a career on the world stage.
Just one more sleep until these performers take their spot in the limelight.
What did you say? Oh, I didn't say a thing, Tori. Oh.
Drama students from the University of Tasmania are preparing to take to the Theatre Royal stage for their first performance of Pirate Eyes by well-known playwright Lally Katz. Exploring the complicated existence of two sisters, one with murderous envy.
And we wanted the students to experience what it was like to be inside of a contemporary theatre performance.
While the pressure's on ahead of opening night.
Yeah, just generally you take so much away from every individual experience where you get to perform in front of a crowd that it's every single time you learn something new.
An invaluable experience for students to be able to work alongside others studying production, lighting and music.
It's just a matter of sort of composing those elements and getting lots and lots of ideas together and seeing what worked and what didn't.
For many, it's a passion which could pay the bills one day, with productions like this providing vital exposure.
I hope that this experience for students shows them that there's room for them on these stages in Tasmania and that there's room for them to experiment and explore new works and new forms.
I tend to work alone a lot when I'm making music, so it's been a really good experience to collaborate with other students. And especially in a theatre sense, it's not something I've ever thought of doing before.
Tickets are available for Thursday and Friday night shows online.
Come along and see it, you won't be disappointed and you'll walk out of it with questions, answers, everything.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Hundreds are preparing to feel the burn on Sunday as they take on one of Launceston's steepest streets in the name of charity. This year's Baler Burn hoping to raise much needed funds, and a world-class sporting star is ready for the uphill battle.
Burn in name and in nature.
Baler Burn itself is a 420 metre sprint across 2 blocks. It's got a 25% gradient, so that's quite a climb.
The annual event has been running since 2014, raising vital funds for St Giles.
Felix is 4. He was born with a rare brain condition that's called hyperplasia of the corpus callosum. He's been going to St Giles since he was 4 years old.
As 300 people take on Sunday's climb, the organisation is hoping to raise more than $10,000 for its programs.
With the assistance of the therapist, Felix learnt to crawl last year. He is progressing really well with his walking. He's starting to learn to use his pointer finger so that he can use his communication device to talk with us. Felix wouldn't be where he is today without them.
The NDIS and government funding covers participant sessions.
However, it doesn't pay for things like gym equipment or those resources which they use in those sessions.
And it's not just walkers who are planning for the event, with Olympic cyclist Richie Port also gearing up.
As a cyclist, it was the hardest street to ride up in Launceston, so it's nice to come back and do that, and as a part of charity, it's going to be great fun.
But has the ambassador been training?
That's all a part of it, isn't it? It doesn't matter how fit that you are, it's going to hurt. So I'm just looking forward to, suffering up there with the rest of the people that turn out to do it.
And for those game enough to give it a crack, entries for the event are open online until Saturday night and in person on Sunday. Talia Jordan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's Guide Dogs class of 2023 has put its best paws forward, celebrating a special graduation ceremony. The graduates are now ready to take the next steps in their journeys as guide, autism assistants, companion and facility dogs.
little paws with big responsibilities.
He's settled into our family and doing his job extremely well.
12 fresh recruits joining the furry ranks, ready for a life dedicated to service. But for today, it's all about them.
He does a wonderful job getting me in and out of around people and steps and poles.
They've spent the last 18 months sniffing through their paces, selfless Tasmanian families opening up their hearts and homes, volunteering to train these precious pups for life on the job.
They are fantastic, a lot of volunteers and people. I really take my hat off to the work that they put in.
The class of 2023 pouring their way onto the stage for their big moment.
Just to see them now working with their clients and increasing their independence and seeing the amazing life-changing role that they're having is I'm just so proud.
The graduates given a special purpose to help the community, lending a range of helping paws to many Tasmanians.
So it's great that all of our dogs, no matter whether it's a guiding role, an autism assistance role or a companionship role, really are changing lives.
Important jobs that guide dogs do is the freedom that they give us.
A tiring but worthy task for these furry friends. Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania is getting behind Seniors Week with a whole program of classes and events to get older residents out and active. Free, low-impact aquatic lessons are always a popular offering, with spots guaranteed to fill fast.
We've got art classes, we've got some conversations around issues and ageing gracefully. Just a great week to engage, create friendships and conversations.
Seniors Week starts Monday with events running through until Sunday. One of Tasmania's most photogenic fields is once again a riot of colour, just days away from Wynyard's Tulip Festival. Thousands are expected to make the trek to Table Cape this weekend, with staff urging flower lovers to pack their favourite gumboots.
Picture-perfect petals in full bloom in our northwest. Table Cape's tulips are drawing crowds like bees to, well, a flower.
Yeah, we're coming to see all the tulips. It was one of the things you have to see.
I mean, you know, they always seem to start off by just running as quickly as they can, like away from their parents.
Where your average gardener might count their bulbs by the handful, Table Cape weighs by the ton. The vibrant vista dazzling visitors and their furry friends.
She loves it, don't she? Catches up with all the kids.
With almost every colour of the rainbow on show, fashionistas can be sure of looking as pretty as a picture.
Long flowing dresses for the girls and, you know, dapper for the men. Yeah, it always works well.
But the farm might not be the place for your favourite white sneakers.
Yes, looks like it might have a few showers potentially, but we don't think it's going to damp people's spirits too much. So
New types of tulip can take years to cultivate, from seed to bulb to bloom. This new variety has taken decades to develop.
We're really excited about it because it's quite unique, in how it looks.
But be quick, a warmer than usual spring means tulip season will finish earlier.
People get a lot of joy from coming and walking the tulips, and it's a lovely family activity to do.
The flourishing fields putting a pep in the step of flower fanatics. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
A new community project is encouraging people of all ages to strike up a conversation, with more Tasmanians suffering heightened feelings of loneliness and isolation, especially after the COVID pandemic. A series of conversations were played at the Salamanca and Farmgate markets, where locals are then encouraged to check in with a stranger.
There's not heaps of connection between the younger and the older people. I think we've lost a bit of that. So I think any kind of chance or opportunity to bring these generations together is really great.
And we have a lot of people who live alone, like that's an increasing number in our municipality. Equally, people are spending less time in that one-on-one discussion.
The event is part of Mental Health Awareness Week. Critical mineral exploration is being given a fresh boost across Tasmania, with the latest round of exploration drilling grants officially open. The funding allows explorers to test new locations as well as re-examine old mine sites.
We do exploration trying to find new deposits, and like I say, one of these grants could be the next new deposit, so
could be the next mine.
Tasmania has some huge prospects when it comes to the minerals that we need to ensure that we have defence manufacturing in this country and also powering renewable energy.
Funding packages of up to $90,000 are available.
It's not just the warm Queensland weather that has Tasmania coming in hot. The AFL Inclusion Carnival finishing the preliminary lightning round with 7 wins from 7. The undefeated run means they enter the carnival proper in the First Division.
Everyone's buying in. Like last year, we took the step up and played Division 1 last year. Now, that's where we want to be this year. We don't want to be down Division B. Like, we just got to keep building and building and building. And I feel like that's what we have to do every single game.
Their next match is tomorrow afternoon against Western Australia. The Jack Jumpers are gearing up for 3 in a row when they host the Hawks tomorrow night. Fresh off an away win against top point scorers Melbourne, the odds seem good, but in a tight competition, there's no such thing as an easy win. After keeping the comp leaders stifled on their home turf, confidence is building that this could be the Jackies' season. But the ultimate barometer will be tomorrow night at My State Bank Arena.
The win on the road is something that gives you a little bit of confidence, but winning at home to me is really the key to success.
After scraping through for their first win over the weekend, the Hawks will be coming in hot. But keeping the spotlight on defence will be the key to clipping their wings.
They got 2 great guards that play the same way. They can shoot, they play fast. So obviously they're a great team, but we're not too focused on that. We're just going to focus on ourselves because that's how we win games.
Averaging 15 points a game, import Jordan Crawford has been a welcome addition to the ant nest.
Jordan is obviously fun to watch, and he's getting in the paint and creating stuff. But I think we've also spaced the floor a little bit better this year with providing a little bit more shooting around Milt, which is one of our goals.
This stint in Tassie isn't the first time Dang has encountered the sharp-shooting Doyle.
I played against him about 8 or 9 years ago in college. He's in a great form right now, and we're just here to help him. And because we're here, we play for each other.
Based off recent form, it might be easy to write off the Hawks, but the Tassie coach won't be doing any such thing.
There's just no walk-away games where you just circle them and say, I really feel good about this game. It's just the league's too tough.
Burnie basketballer Tarrant Armstrong is making his pitch for the NBA draft. Talent scouts keenly watching his return from a foot injury as the Cairns Taipans played the Washington Wizards in an NBA pre-season match this morning. No great surprise, the Wizards winning that 145-82 despite a gallant effort from the Taipans.
Good evening. 21 in Hobart today. Launceston and Burnie 17 degrees, 15 the top in Devonport. The north and west in that cool airstream today. Not so Campania recording our top of 24. Fingal, Bushy Park and King Island all warming up to 23. St Helens and Grove 22. Lyawini also tipped over into the 20s. Friendly Beaches 19 and Strawn 17 degrees. Bright high cloud moved over from the west today with clear skies over most of the state. Further out and more high cloud is over the South Australia coast, lower cover over southwest WA, southeast Queensland and the top end. Tomorrow that cold front will play a part as it moves across Tasmania. An associated trough extends to the far north and to Western Australia. The 20 to 30 knot northwesterlies will push back to the west-southwest at similar zeta force in the afternoon, swells lifting to 3.5 metres in southern waters. A gale warning has been issued for waters from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point, a strong wind warning for remaining waters along with the southwest lakes. Hobart, a high of 18 tomorrow, becoming windy and a shower on the way. 17 for Cygnet, showers for Norfolk, 17 degrees. Launceston show day, a shower or two, 9 overnight, 17 the top, 16 for Devonport, a shower for Campbelltown and 17 the maximum. Burnie 14 degrees and showery. Strawn 15 and 15 also for Smithton with a bit of wind blowing over the northwest. A shower or two for St Helens as well, 19, same for Swansea, Fingal a shower and 11 overnight to 17 tomorrow. On Friday, showers about the west and south, mostly fine elsewhere. Showers for most areas, apart from the east where the temperatures will be warmer than the rest. Snow lowering to 600 metres and more showers into Sunday with another drop of snow on the peaks. Sunny and 27 in Perth, a morning shower and 12 degrees colder than today in Adelaide. Rain over Melbourne, a sunny day followed by a late shower, cooling off a 32 tomorrow in Sydney and a fine 28 in Brisbane. Conditions right now. Hobart, mostly cloudy and 15. Same in Launceston, 13 right now in Devonport. And what about that big news tonight, Kim? Brodie Grundy is going to play for the Swans. It's okay with me as long as he gets a decent haircut. He's a footballer, not a barista.
Oh, gee whiz, you can't say that. Apologies to the hipsters that are watching us tonight.